It's Tuesday, April 14th, and welcome to the Stock Market Daily News Podcast, where we bring you the key stories and numbers shaping markets. Yesterday saw an intense start to the week as global headlines drove market volatility. Despite a shaky open, the S&P 500 finished up 1% to close at 6,886. The Dow Jones gained 0.6%, and the Nasdaq was the day's star, rising 1.2%. Investor attention focused on surging oil prices, renewed geopolitical tension, and big moves in energy, airline, and crypto stocks. Here's what mattered and what to watch next. First up, oil prices skyrocketed, topping $103 a barrel in early trading after President Trump announced a U.S. Navy blockade of the Strait of Hormuz following the collapse of U.S.-Iran ceasefire talks. Brent crude spiked over 8% before investors cooled, and by day's end oil slipped just under the $100 mark, closing at $98.16. The blockade threatens a key route for 20% of global energy supplies, fanning fears of higher inflation and supply chain shocks. Energy sector stocks rallied, but the volatility signals ongoing uncertainty for energy investors. That oil spike hit airlines hard. Shares of Wizz Air dropped almost 8% in London, EasyJet fell over 4%, and U.S. majors like United, Delta, and American Airlines declined 2 to 3% in pre-market trading. The risk? With Europe's jet fuel supplies constrained and travel routes to the Gulf cancelled, airlines face higher costs and potential shortages in coming weeks. Airline investors should brace for continued chop until a resolution in the Gulf is in sight. Meanwhile, stocks overall staged an impressive recovery. The S&P 500 finished up 1%, reversing early losses as investors bet that U.S.-Iranese tensions might dissipate and avoid a broader escalation. Optimism grew as reports suggested ongoing back-channel negotiations. The market's resilience highlights how investors are betting on brinksmanship rather than outright conflict, but volatility may persist as diplomatic headlines shift. In crypto, Ethereum took center stage as Bitmain Immersion Technologies chairman Tom Lee dubbed Ether the wartime store of value. Bitmain now holds 4.87 million Ether, or over $10 billion, and is rapidly accumulating more. ETH is up more than 17% since the Iran conflict began, decisively outperforming both stocks and gold. Still, Bitmain shares are down 32% year-to-date, reminding investors that crypto asset volatility cuts both ways. Finally, a practical note from retirement planning circles, with markets roiled by inflation and interest rate fears. Recent analysis suggests retirees seeking a $100,000 income from yield alone now require anywhere from $830,000 at a 12% yield, a very risky path, to more than $3.3 million when targeting safer 3% yields. The key takeaway? Understanding your risk tolerance and the trade-off between yield, capital required, and long-term income growth has never been more crucial amid today's market swings. To recap, oil volatility rocked energy and airline stocks, but major indexes posted solid gains as hopes for renewed diplomacy outweighed war fears. Crypto continues to act as both speculation and, for some, a perceived safe haven. Looking ahead, keep an eye on further U.S.-Iran headlines, earnings season kickoff, and inflation data out later this week. Thanks for tuning in to the Stock Market Daily News Podcast. Don't miss tomorrow's update, subscribe, and follow us for all your market news in just 2 minutes a day.